Okay, breaking news now. Mayor Karen Bass responding to the National Guard pulling out. Let's listen in.
Serve in the National Guard, who go about their lives normal at school with their families and at work, and they are called to duty and deployed, and in this case deployed unnecessarily, which means they had to leave their families, they had to leave their education, they had to leave their work. They were here, in some cases, sleeping on floors. It's not clear what conditions they were in. And now they have been withdrawn. 2,000 troops are being withdrawn. We don't exactly know where they're going. I certainly hope that these young people will not be used as props in some other city. I have said from the beginning that what is happening in Los Angeles is we are being used as a test case. And I am hoping that this experiment with the lives of people ends here. This has been a blow to the economy of the nation's second largest city. We are an immigrant city, a city where there's sectors of our economy that are dependent on immigrant labor. We have rebuilding that needs to be done, whether we are talking about the wildfires or whether we are talking about preparations for the major events coming up. And the idea that troops would be used, the economy would be hit. Who do you think does the building in this city? We know that the construction industry has significant percentage of immigrant labor. Some people have said 40%. I believe that's a gross underestimation. You can't impact the nation's second largest city, the largest city in the state of California, and the state of California has the fourth largest economy in the world. When you do that, through stunts like have taken place here over the last month, you hurt the economy of our city, our state, and indirectly our nation. So with that, I want to just reiterate, this is a victory, and this is a victory that is the result of our city standing strong and standing united and saying this was not necessary. I hope that the administration heard that, and that's why they made this decision. With that, I'll open it up for questions. Mr. Pete?
They had a drawdown, 2,000 down, and still have 2,700 here, 2,000 guards, 700 Marines. Do you think that's going to be a further drawdown, or do you think that's going to stay here as a presence in the event there are problems where ICE may wind up getting overwhelmed?
Well, you know what? I am hoping that this is the beginning of a complete withdrawal of all National Guard troops and of all Marines. Our soldiers are trained to fight to kill foreign enemies in foreign lands. There was never a need for them here before, and there isn't a need for them now. And frankly, Pete, if they didn't go about the raids in the manner in which they did, originally this was targeted arrests for the worst of the worst. We never saw that materialize. What we saw was masked men, unmarked cars, drawing guns, snatching people off the street. If they got overwhelmed, that has an awful lot to do with it. If they stop that, then they don't have to worry about that, but they all need to go back home. Well, you know, first of all, I don't think the troops volunteered, so congratulating them for stepping up when they were forced for this assignment, I think is inappropriate. But there was not lawlessness here. Did we have some problems? Think about a Laker victory and what happens after that. Now, we are a city of 500 square miles. We had problems in about 2 square miles. It lasted for a couple of days. I initiated a curfew. We have had no problems or for weeks. So why were they here? It is a misuse of the men and women who serve our country.
Next to Chelsea. Chelsea.
How has this impacted relations with the immigrant community here in Los Angeles? How has the presence changed the way that people are behaving?
Well, I think it's left the immigrant community terrorized, fearful, hiding at home, afraid to go out. We had July 4th that was supposed to take place across the street. Our city's #1 celebration for the anniversary of our nation that had to be canceled. Why did we cancel it? We canceled it because we were trying to protect Angelenos from their federal government. Let that sink in. We needed to protect people from another branch of our government. Now I'm hoping that people will come out from the woodwork, that people will feel that they can leave their homes and go back to work, that the restaurants that were on the verge of closing will now be able to be maintained, that the 4,000 independent businesses in the garment district will come alive again because it's been a ghost town. This has taken a real hit on our economy. When there were raids near Altadena, when there were raids on the west side at the Home Depot, we need to rebuild both of those communities. And I think that I'm hoping that the people that do construction work will continue on, because the rebuilding in the Palisades has been going along fine, months and months ahead of previous fires in other locations. We need that to continue.
Tim from KBC, Mayor, LA1 is recent court hearing that witnessed how ICE can target your ratings. The Trump administration is appealing that. What have they been able to do? What happens next?
So that was our first victory, by the way, and thank you for raising that. Our first victory was on Friday, when the court agreed with the egregious raids needed to stop. The random snatching of people by masked men off our streets needed to stop. That people should identify themselves, that they should not be masked, that the people that are detained should have access to their families, that the people that are detained should have access to legal counsel. And so that was a win, and that was put on hold, a temporary restraining order. I know that the administration has appealed that to the Ninth Circuit. We will see whether that appeal is upheld. I'm certainly hopeful that it is. And I frankly think that the retreat that is happening today of the Guard being hopefully sent home will be an indication that the administration knows they're on extremely weak ground and leaving with dignity rather than the court ordering them to leave. If it's not upheld, that means that they could go back to business as usual, which is the snatching of people off the street. But once again, I am hopeful that what is happening today, the retreat of 2,000 troops, will be an indication that the administration will not continue the random seizure of people. I mean, you heard Mr. Holman, who said that there was a variety of criteria that they were using to detain people. One was their physical appearance. Just think about that. This is a city of 3.8 million people, and close to 50% of our population is Latino. So that means that 50% of the city is suspect. That is called racial profiling, and that was one of the bases of the lawsuit that led to the temporary restraining order.
Is it possible that the withdrawal of the troops, or at least the drawdown or whatever, was also in response to the president changing the rules of engagement for ICE? He apparently also has indicated they now have the authority, if they are attacked or put upon or set upon in any way, shape, or form, they have the ability and authority to use any and all force needed to keep them safe.
Well, one thing that we do know about the administration is that opinions, tactics, strategies change like the wind. And that's actually chilling what you just said, because the implication of that means that if they feel that they're threatened, that they can use those weapons that they draw.
Somebody in Camarillo fired a gun at federal officers. They were throwing rocks about the size of your head at these things. That's not peaceful. That's
No.
not a demonstration. That's attempted murder.
Yes.
And the question now is, will they be able to respond? The indications are they can't, so there's no need for a federal security force around them. The rules of engagement never really change.
Okay, we've been listening to
Well,
Mayor
the
Karen
other
Bass
thing that they
addressing the
ruled as
2,000
well
National Guard
is
troops
that
who have been released from Los Angeles. She said they were used as props in her words. She talked about the hit to the economy following all of these ICE raids and arrests, where the Marines were brought in, the National Guard was brought in. She talked about Los Angeles being an immigrant city, and she called this a victory, now the National Guard's troops being released.
And that, of course, was by the Trump administration in releasing those 2,000 guards. Another 2,000 still remain, and I believe about 200 Marines are still here. But the mayor is calling it a victory. We know Friday there was a court order that came down and issued a temporary restraining order on the guards being able to go and pick up people off the street. The president said, the Trump administration said they would appeal that. So we don't know if this is a result of what happened on Friday or not. But we have just heard Mayor Bass claiming victory and that at least 2,000 National Guard troops will be leaving California. Don't know exactly where they're going, but they will be leaving Los Angeles.